Hello guys, Ezra Time here, and today I want to talk about Attack on Titan, especially the ending of Attack on Titan. So for start, I want to give you guys my perspective about the ending. Because I know about the ending from the manga 2 years ago, and I guess go through my original opinions about the ending and what I think the anime does better and does worse at the same time. And safe to say, I did not like the ending. Even today, I still did not like the ending. But before I start, I want to make it clear that this is purely my own opinions on the ending. I'm not here to speak for everybody. No, I'm speaking for myself. And if you have a different opinion, that's totally fine. You are allowed to have a different opinions. If you like the ending, cool. I'm glad that you guys like the ending. But for me, specifically for me, I do not like it. So let me just start with my experience for the ending. So obviously I know, or I guess I watched Attack on Titan back in 2020 or 2021, from season one. And this is my first true anime experience. And I remember loving Attack on Titan a lot. And to the point that when I reached the final season, I think at the time episode 7 was released for final season part 1 in 2021. I decided to read the manga, for the next chapter because I was impatient to see what's gonna happen. And eventually I caught up to it and remember the feeling that it's a bit weird, but I'm also still liking it. And eventually until I read the ending, I originally did not hate the ending. I think the ending was, could have been worse. That's what my initial thought was when I read the ending in the manga. And then literally several days later, when I start thinking about it, like I actually start thinking about Eren Yeager's character, how the continuity, the consistency of it, the plot holes, you could say that is like, yeah, that's where I'm like, the ending is not that good. And I was disappointed, that my favorite series ended in the really low points, you could say that. And on June 2021, Isayama released an extra pages that makes it even worse, I think, where, clearly said that Eren's plan didn't work, and then obviously Paradise got destroyed, which I'm going to talk about that when I get to the anime, even deeper. But that's basically my experience with the ending. I was completely fine when I first read it, and eventually I realized that it is actually a bad ending for, especially for Eren Yeager's characters and all that kind of stuff. It was inconsistent, and the characters development and stuff like that, that I feel like could go on so long on that. But I just want to focus specifically on this last episode of the anime, and point out some of my, I guess, some gripes and some of the criticism that when I watched this anime. So we all know that this episode starts with the group arriving to stop the rumbling, and then we get to see them try to fight the Titan, which is like it's a cool scene. It's a fun scene that finally seeing the Titan fight another Titan again. It was really cool, I think. And the animation is also really good. I think Mappa does the best as they can, because I know that the Mappa workload is like, it's not that good, but they did great, in the animation, and the voice acting as well. But besides that, I think this episodes, or I guess the manga as well, has a lot of like plot conveniences to the point that the character was able to survive that long. And let me just point out, I guess, two of the convenience that happens. The first one is that when Armin is like in the path, and he was talking to Zeke, and then for some reason he's able to like bring his own memory to the path, because I think everybody's in the path just can't remember who they were, or I guess doesn't have any memory who they were in when they were living. And then because Armin was able to do that, he's able to convince the other titans basically that, oh, like, like you remember the most memorable moments in their life. Like Zeke is playing catch with the father figure. I forgot the name. I'm sorry, but he's playing baseball basically, and that's like the memory that he remember, and that basically convince everybody, or I guess some people, that they know that, hey, we should fight back. And to me, that feels like, wow, that's really convenient. Like, how did that happen? I have no idea. You explained that the pet doesn't have any memory, but Armin was able to do that. I guess you could argue that maybe he's still alive in some way, and that's why he's able to like pull out the memory, which is kind of funny, where he's just like lifting like a leaf out of nowhere, and then like, this is my memory, and then Zeke see it differently. And they try to explain that maybe Ymir, the founder Ymir, is trying to find connection, but I feel like that doesn't really work. That I feel like it still felt like a plot convenience that, oh yeah, that the titles was able to remember who they were, and then they helping the protagonist, and that's it. That's plot convenience number one. And the second one is that Falco is controlling, or I guess, flying the flying titan. And I thought it was like, wow, that was so convenient, because first of all, this is a completely brand new titan in the first place. Nobody has ever seen a flying titan before, and I think this is like the first time they see a flying titan. and Falco is the first time that I was able to control this flying titan, right? And my question is that how does he do it? This man just become a titan not that long ago. He transformed into a titan like twice. The first time in the fights in the docks, and then obviously I think he lost control, which makes sense because Eren Yeager, obviously our main character, is also losing control when he first become the Titan. He doesn't remember. He doesn't remember who he is when he first become a Titan, I think, and just going on a rampage. And thankfully, the Titan ran out of energy, and that's why he's able to transfer back to Eren. And then the second time, he's trying to kill Mikasa and give Mikasa the permanent scar on her cheek. So yeah, it's pretty clear that you need some training to control the Titan, and Valko Titans is brand new. No one has ever seen this before, so like how does he train himself to fly the titan, and was able to do that quickly on that same day? If I believe that took place on the same day. And it's like, how do you do that? You just transfer on the boat and it split the boats in half, and somehow nobody dies and nobody get hurt. Oh, okay, cool. And then he's able to fly the titan with ease without any problem. And I'm just like, that's really convenient. How do you do that? No one has ever seen a titan before, and you only transfer to a titan twice. The second time you became a bird, literally with wings. The first time he transferred just a jaw titan, and the jaw titan's power is on the jaw. Obviously, that's the name, right? Not on flying, obviously. And then for some reason, he is able to fly the titan the second time he's transformed, and then with wings this time. Like, how do you do that? You do it so quickly to the point that with ease. So to me, that's another plot convenience. Without these two plot conveniences, that our character would have died. It's pretty clear they're gonna die anyway, but it seems like Isayama just want to keep them alive, doesn't even know how to do it, so let's just introduce this plot convenience, At least that's how I perceive it, Especially with the flying titan part. It's like, okay, what? You only transfer the second time, but okay, you're able to fly that, but cool. And for the Ymir part, the memory part, maybe you could explain that in a way, because I don't particularly understand it fully, that how does Armin was able to do that, They try to give some explanation, but even then I'm just like, huh? Okay, so that's why I still think that was a convenient, so either way. So we get to I guess the jumping to the conversation between Armin and Eren, that I think is pretty well done in the anime. I think it does it very better. But oh man, there is so many worse things that happened to Eren Yeager's character, probably even more than the manga does, because here's the thing. When we see the conversation between Armin and Eren in this anime, they actually added some new stuff on the dialogue, which I'm gonna get to that later. But first of all, we get to I want to talk about the scene where Eren is actually crying, when he actually cannot let go of Mikasa, and because it was revealed that this whole plan, this whole idea is actually for Mikasa at the end of the day. So Mikasa is the key for everything. And Eren tried to achieve that by basically, by doing all of this, and there's this weird scene where it's like Armin is like smiling kind of creepily, saying, "Oh yeah, I mean, you don't really care for Mikasa, right?" And then Eren just cries, saying that, "No, I want Mikasa to remember me. I don't want her to move on. I want her to remember me for at least 10 years, And I remember seeing that in the manga. People are memeing the shit out of that panel a lot, So I cannot wait to the glorious meme from this scene alone. But what I think about that scene, though, is that I did not like it what they did with Eren Yeager's character, that it seems like a sim for Mikasa all of a sudden, out of nowhere. Because if I remember correctly, this guy doesn't even know romance. Even in season 3, where even you argue with, Eren and Historia, he doesn't necessarily know romance, And when Mikasa got jealous, he is oblivious. Clearly, he has no idea what's happening. So he is an oblivious guy that never actually know anything about romance. And I guess in the final season, he does. He does have a feeling for Mikasa. Okay. But it's like, it was terribly it was not well built in my opinion, and I feel like the scene where he is crying, it is kind of funny to see his face, to be honest, even though it was supposed to be a sad moment, right? But I just can't help but laugh because how really ridiculous it is for his character to do that, like don't wanting Mikasa to move on. Like, bro, seriously, you are selfish for her, man. You are obsessed with her, and I know to some people that like there's like a romantic scene, and trust me, when I first saw that scene, I thought it was romantic. Seriously, I was a big Eremika fan back in the day, and I thought that, oh, that was romantic. But now looking back at it, I'm just like, this is pathetic for his character. Again, my opinion, I know that some of you will probably disagree with me, and that's fine. But it's just from my opinions, that I think this is just a pathetic decision for Eren Yeager's character to make her cry for Mikasa and doesn't want her to move on, Even though I do like they added the line where Armin was like, damn, I cannot believe you said something that pathetic, huh? I'm just like, okay, like, it does make me chuckle, that they are self-aware how pathetic that was. So even they acknowledge that, And yeah, so the next big changes that I thing I could praise is that where Eren basically said that he's going to commit 80% of the rumbling, and Armin's reaction is actually realistic in the anime because he's like, why, why would you do that? Did you have, any other choices and stuff like that? Because in the manga, like Armin just immediately thanking Eren for being a mass murderer. So he basically saying that, oh, thank you, Eren, for turning yourself into like a mass genocide, a mass murderer for us, so we can become the hero. That's like the line from the manga. So it was bad, dude. Holy shit. But in this one, they are improving that by having Armin actually having a mental breakdown. Like, why would you do that, Eren? That is messed up. So I was like, oh, okay. I like these changes a lot, the fact that they are both going to hell now because obviously they kill a bunch of people and stuff like that. So okay, fine, that kind of works for my opinions. However, they also added a lot of worse stuff for Eren Yeager's character. The first one is that when he says, I am an idiot, and I personally disagree because here's the thing: that Eren make it clear to Armin that this can be undone, like this is the only choice that he has to do, because he explained that he saw like multiple future or like multiple choices, and then so many times that he tested it, but every single time he saw the future it always occur exactly as he saw it, and to be fair, he doesn't exactly confirm what he saw, but I'm assuming that maybe because Paradise got destroyed or like the war never over, so this is like the only chance they could do it, I think that's what actually happened there, and that's why Eren said, this is the only choice to do so. And I'm just like, well, that doesn't make you an idiot then, because there is no other choices. If you're saying that there is another choices that could lead to a peaceful world without doing the rumbling, then and you didn't choose that, then well, yeah, he's an idiot. But here's the thing: it was explained in the anime that he doesn't have any choice. He saw multiple choice, he tested it, but he always saw the same conclusion every single time. So this is the only choice that he has to do by committing the 80% rumbling and let the 20% live, and it's like, okay, well, that's your only choice then. It doesn't make you an idiot. You just don't have any choice. And the fact is, Eren does tested so many choices that he could take, to see a different future, but clearly the future just stays the same. So this is the choice that he has to do by committing an 80% rumbling, 80% genocide, you could say that, so like that's the only choice. And I feel like the anime just make it clear, and even Armin tackles the idea that if Eren does commit 100% rumbling by saying that, well, are you saying if there's no people there wouldn't be any war, like it's a joke, right? Like who would believe that or something like that? So Armin in this anime, I'm glad that they actually make Armin said that, so that, oh, at least he understand the perspective of Eren for like committing 100% of the rumbling, by saying that, well, if there is no people, you're saying there's no war, which is logically speaking, like, yeah, I mean, the entire world hates you. This whole thing happens because of the world hating you. So, or I guess Marley's country hating you, but clearly Marley has also have war with other country as well, and I'm not saying that the entire world is evil. Clearly there's some people just don't really care for Aldis. They're innocent and just want to live their life, sure, but I feel like at the end of the day, how could you like determine that, because obviously when you start the rumbling, you are going to make an anime to the entire world, so you might as well finish it, and I'm glad that actually Armin mentioned that you're saying that if there's no people, then there is no war, which is like, yeah, logically speaking, I mean, true, there will be some internal war in Paradise Island, but if the rest of the world are destroyed, then nobody's going to fight the Paradise Island. That's like the logic here, so that's why I think I first thought that Eren is going to commit 100% rumbling, and that would make sense, it's messed up for sure, but logically speaking for the story, it makes sense, if there is no other country, there's no other people out there, there's no other world, despite they were like, angry at the Paradise Island, the Albion people, or they are completely didn't even care and they're completely innocent, it doesn't really matter because they are dead and nobody's going to have any revenge plot on the island, and I think that's what most of us, the ending haters, are agreed that I feel like he should does 100% rumbling because it makes sense. It was messed up for sure, but it makes sense, so I'm glad that the anime is like tackling that idea, but the next scene, Eren said he's an idiot, and I'm just like, why? You're not an idiot because this is the only choice. You said it yourself, and that's why I think that they're adding new stuff, but they are refusing to move some of the bad dialogue and bad scene from the manga, and I guess they removed the dialogue when Armin is like thanking Eren, even though he does thank him again in the anime, but it was done differently, and I was like, okay, fine, so they did it differently, and I don't get why they decided to add the line where he is an idiot, an idiot who has incredible power, which is just not true, by the way, and he's not a psychotic person to begin with, because here's the thing, you could say that in season 1 Eren is psychotic, Eren is crazy, he is yelling a lot, he has a lot of emotions, sure, but there is a clear reason why he act that way. His mother, for example, just died right in front of his eye. So obviously that becomes like the main thing why Eren is so angry at the Titan, so they want to kill, or I guess he wants to kill all the Titans, outside the wall, so he can be free. That's his own goal. So it's like, okay, that makes sense because there is a reason for that to happen. There is a reason why Eren has that big of emotion in the beginning. He is so angry, because obviously, same thing with when he was angry with, Annie, the female Titan. I know it's Annie in the English pronunciation, but I'm used to Annie, so Annie, the female Titan, he is so angry at her. And it makes sense, because Annie kills a bunch of people as the female Titan. So of course Eren will be angry, of course he will be crazy. But in the ending here, the next line that he said is like, I just want to destroy everything. And Armin said, why? And then Eren said, I don't know why. Which is just like, what? What the hell was that? Are you saying that, oh, I want to see this view, And it's like, what? Are you saying that Eren just wanting this to happen regardless? And it's just like, that is not Eren Yeager. That is not his reasoning. And yet he is crazy, but there is a reason. At least in the past season, there is a clear reason why he is such a crazy person to begin with, And in this one, they just like, yeah, I just want to destroy everything, I have no reason at all. So I just want to see this view, I just want to see this happen. And I'm like, you basically just making him a psychotic person, and people just like accepting that. Like, come on, man. And it's like, think about the consistency and continuity for the character. Eren Yeager, yes, he is crazy, but there is a clear reason why he is crazy in the first place. In this one, he has no idea why he wants to destroy the entire world, apparently. Even though previously he just explained that this is the only choice to do so he can achieve freedom, So there will be peace between Paradise and I guess the remaining 20% of the humanity, Like that's the plan. And then they decide to put that line there, which is I think from the manga, that he wants to destroy everything anyway, and he has no idea why. And I'm just like, why didn't you just remove that line? Because I feel like the explanation that Eren gave, that there is no other choice, it works, like it works why he needs to do it. And then you add the fact that, oh, he wants to do it anyway. He wants to destroy everything. And I'm just like, why? Why would you do that to Eren's character? You basically making him that, oh, he's a crazy guy to begin with. I'm just like, dude, he's just a crazy guy with no reason at this point, it's just so dumb, like having that line in the anime. I wish they would remove that. I feel like here's the thing, what they should have done is remove the line where he is an idiot with incredible power. Remove that line, it doesn't make any sense. And the second part, remove the line where he wants to destroy everything, because he doesn't even know why he wants to destroy. So it's like, why would you add that line in the anime? I get that you probably want to respect the manga, but you are clearly trying to improve the manga, the story. And I feel like you should remove some aspect from the manga if you actually want to improve the story, and or like put it differently, where Armin saying thank you, that I feel like didn't feel that jarring in the anime. You could have done that, but for some reason you're still adding these two lines, which is just like, why? This is so bad for Eren Yeager's character. And I want to add something, that Eren is never been a psychopathic person anyway, because clearly he is depressed throughout the final season. He is not psychopath in any way. He is a raging monster in season 1, but like I said before, there is a clear reason why he acts that way. And in the final season, when he does the entire rumbling, clearly he did not enjoy doing this, because he is depressed, he is shocked, he knows that he has to die, and he has to kill 80% of humanity. And then, if I remember correctly, on one of the episodes in the final season, he is apologizing to a child, because he knows that this child is going to die. He is crying, he's boiling, crying. Clearly, he's not a psychopath, he has a reason to do this, which is really, yeah, it's a messed up thing to do, but it's like, he's not enjoying doing this, So that's why I think the line, I wanted to destroy everything, just doesn't make any sense to me, and I wish they removed that. So, yeah. But again, that's my opinions, that's just my opinion, and also the other thing that I don't like is that where Armin is like explaining to Eren that, oh, or I guess having a theory that, oh, maybe you're doing this because I show you a book before in my childhood that you just see like an ocean, a mountain, like a green grass and stuff like that was peaceful, and it was my fault, because I basically set up your with a false expectation about the outside world, and I'm just like, well, isn't exactly Armin's fault because they don't know that, and sure that Eren has some expectation, but even in season 3 episode 18, I remember when Eren said that he doesn't even remember the book that Armin told him until the day when Armin is supposed to die, before Levi injected him with the Titan serum, and that's where Eren said that, well, he doesn't even remember the book from the childhood, he just remember on that moment. So it's like, clearly it's not that important to him to begin with until maybe in the final season, right? And it's like, well, I don't think that's the reason though. I feel like Eren is just expecting a peaceful world, but that doesn't mean he's expecting the world without humans, But here's the thing. if the rest of the world is actually, welcoming to Eldians, respectful to Eldians, and they're chill around the paradise people and doesn't want to commit, war or something like that, I don't think Eren would just, oh, like, you guys are peaceful, I'm just gonna destroy you guys anyway. Like, I don't think so. I feel like now they try to make it that seems like that, with the ending, which is like, I don't like that, but I feel like it really contradicts what Eren Yeager's character is supposed to be. He's the kind of guy that doesn't back down and always stand up to weaker people and stuff like that. So he's not an idiot to begin with. There's a reason why he act that way, and he's not a genocidal maniac in the first place. Like, he's doing this because he has no other choices. The anime make it clear. And then when Armin presented that theory, maybe this is why you want to destroy everything, because it's not exactly as the book does. That feels forced to me, that I feel like the anime tried to explain that a lot, and just like, oh, this is the reason why Eren said the line. And for granted, this is probably just a theory that Armin does, but at the same time, I was like, man, Armin, you just literally mentioned the fact that if Eren does 100% rumbling, that is that a joke? You think that if there's no people, there is no war. So basically, he acknowledged the fact that he could actually do 100% rumbling and kill a lot of, millions of people, and he clearly does. And it's like, well, you kind of understand why Eren did it in the first place, So it's like, why didn't Armin just say that? Well, maybe you want to do it because there is no other choices. I think that's what Armin should have said to Eren, that yeah, you're just doing this because you have no other choices, because Armin is a smart person, and for some reason he said that, oh, it's because the book, like, I'm the book that I introduced before in our childhood, by the way, and then they kind of like brought back again in the final season. Like, that might be the reason why you are acting this way, or that might be the reason why you want to destroy everything. And I'm just like, no, what? It feels forced, that, well, there is no other choices, so this is what you have to do. So he does feel sorry for Eren at the end of the day, so I think that's cool. But it's just like, that theory with the book, I feel, for me personally, it felt forced, in my opinion. I feel like it's like, okay, cool, the book that it was brought in the childhood, but cool, that I feel like it doesn't really matter because like, he has no other choices. And the next one thing I want to talk about is obviously Mikasa, because holy hell, Mikasa is the key to everything in the ending of this Attack on Titan. And it is the weirdest part of the Attack on Titan, literally. Because here's the thing, I used to be a big fan of, Eremika. I used to ship Eren and Mikasa a lot. I used to think they are romantic, but I remember I ship them because they are, the main characters. That's the only reason why I ship them. The main male character and main female character, and then obviously they need to get together. That's like the basic idea for shipping a character, at least for me, because that's why I ship Eren and Mikasa in the first place. And then I realized that they don't exactly have a good enough chemistry as a lover, as a romantic couple, in my opinion, because Eren, for the most part, is pretty much oblivious to Mikasa's love for him. Clearly, he cares for Mikasa, but never once I think that, oh, that was romantic love. No, even watching back the series, unless you're talking about the season 2 final episodes, where we see the Titans is surrounding them, and then you see Mikasa thanking Eren for like wrapping the scarf around them, and Mikasa try to kiss Eren. Like, is it okay? That is, I could say that is like a semi, or I guess a romantic moment for the two of them. Okay, cool. That's the only scene that I feel like the closest thing they could do, like a romantic scene between Eren and Mikasa. And after that, Eren is like trying to protect Mikasa, obviously. So there you go again. Eren Yeager is always trying to protect the people that he loves. He's not an idiot. He has a reason to do so. It's crazy that he punched the Titan, but he has a reason to do so. So there's that. Either way, for the Eremika plot, I feel like if this is the true ending, this is like the goal from the start, I feel like Isayama should build Eren and Mikasa relationship in season 3. I feel like that's the best way to do that so it doesn't feel jarring when that happened, because I know that for Eremika shipper, I understand that you guys think that it's not jarring because you've been shipping them for such a long time. You are obsessed with them, so it's like, yeah, for me, that used to be an Eremika fan, and now I just wish that there is enough, I guess, screen time between Eren and Mikasa being a couple, if this was truly the ending, so it doesn't feel jarring when they actually confess their love to each other, and so it doesn't feel weird if they were already a couple beforehand. But clearly they weren't, until the ending, where it was clear that, oh, they both have feelings for each other, but they never confessed to one another. It was supposed to be tragic. But instead of feeling sad, I feel weird and bizarre that this is the conclusion to Attack on Titan, because the genre for Attack on Titan, if you are explaining it to other people, then yeah, it's gonna be a war anime, it's gonna be a survival anime, it's gonna be an apocalypse anime. That's the kind of genre that I would describe Attack on Titan to begin with, and not romance. Romance is the furthest thing that Attack on Titan has ever done. Until the ending where it was like, oh, it was love the entire time. Love is the answer, and I'm just like, where did that come from? What the hell? This entire series was never been about romance. It's there. Don't get me wrong. It's there now in the final season, especially, but they were never prominent in the first place. And then so like, why the ending is about love? Suddenly it's about love. Out of nowhere. That, oh, Founder Ymir is actually falling in love with King Fritz. So it's like, oh, okay, that's weird. I guess it's probably one of the situation where like the captive falling in love with the person that kidnapped them, maybe that, because that does happen in real life, so maybe that's the case. I don't know, it's like a syndrome or something like that, right? And I'm just like, well, that's still just a shitty plot point, man. Like Attack on Titan, like an epic anime, suddenly the whole like answer to this whole conflict is actually love. It's so weird to me, and it's just so lazy that, oh yeah, love is the answer, man. And I'm just like, why? Attack on Titan was actually a dark anime. It's a depressing anime that characters die left and right. And then now you're telling me that the ending is actually love? Love is the answer all along? Like, seriously, what the fuck? Where did that come from? And like I said before, if they do build Eren and Mikasa relationship in season 3 and making them a romantic couple in season 3, then it won't be as jarring when you go to the final season knowing that they're already a couple and 5 years has passed. Then yeah, the ending probably won't feel that jarring seeing that Eren and Mikasa are already a couple. But still, I still think it was lazy to make love and romance the final component for your story, because it came out of nowhere. And what the hell happened to Eren Yeager, who basically said that, I understand Ymir, like, you are not a slave, you are a person. And then Ymir is like crying, and she understands Eren Yeager, or like, I guess Eren understands Ymir. And apparently now that the context is that, well, I understand that you need love. That's like the whole context of that scene alone. And I'm just like, oh my god, dude, really? Really? Like, that's the context now, it's about love? Like, god damn it, man. Like, it's such an epic anime, and it was ending in the rom-com romance way. I just don't really like that, But that's just my opinions again. I know some people like that, If you guys are Eremika fans, especially a fanboy of Eremika and a fanboy for Mikasa, then you guys are most likely going to enjoy this anime. And you know what? Fine, I understand that. But for me, who are trying to be objective about it, then it was really poorly executed, Like, the love part is poorly executed, The romance part is just the worst part of Attack on Titan. It's pretty clear that Hajimeisayama just cannot write romance. You can't do that. So maybe don't do that in the first place, dude. Like, what are you doing? But at the same time, I think I get why he was doing that, because he saw how big Eremika fandom was. So he's probably trying to appease those fandoms. And I guess to his credit, it does work, because Eremika fans are happy now. But for the people who just trying to be objective storyline, it doesn't work, because there is no build up. And it just happens so suddenly out of nowhere that romance and love is the answer. And Mikasa never struck to me as a really great character in the first place anyway. I feel like she's just there to be strong and yelling Eren's name the entire time. Like 90% of the time is actually her yelling Eren's name, and then being a badass, being a strong woman, which is fine. That's the first reason why I like Mikasa anyway. But it's just like, to make her like the key to everything in the end, it's just so weird that this girl who barely does anything in the story besides being a badass and saving a lot of people, sure, but he doesn't have like she doesn't have like a full-on story arc that's focusing on her until the ending, because if you bring in Historia at least has a story arc that was focusing on her. She is part of the royal family race, so there is a reason, there is a big role that Historia plays, and eventually she became the queen for Paradise Island. So it's like, there is a big role for Historia, which Isayama just completely removed Historia as a character in the final season. She's just there being pregnant and then having some conversation with Eren, and then marry a random guy. And oh boy, I want to talk about that later. But so far, Historia is wasted in the final season because she barely does anything. But she does have a big moment in season 3. There's an entire story arc that was focusing on her. But for Mikasa, there is a single story arc that was like focusing solely on her. She's mostly just not exactly a background character, but she's there to be a badass. She's there to save people, which is fine. I like Mikasa for doing that. But it's just like, if you're gonna make her the key to everything in the end, then at least you need to make her feel super important to the plot. because so far she's only there to worry about Eren, to love Eren. And sure, that's the reason in the end. That's why she becomes, the main thing in the end, the main answer in the end, because she love, her love for Eren kind of like saved the day. But at the same time, it's also felt jarring because we know this in season one, and it feels boring at this point. It's just like, oh, she like, Mikasa became important because she just loved Eren, and I'm just like, dude, what happened to the other character that actually have a conflict, that actually have an internal conflict within themselves, with their family, with their friends and stuff like that. Historia becoming a queen, like, and obviously she has to deal with the idea of becoming a queen, which we never saw that, by the way. So she has to deal with something at least, but what Mikasa had dealt since the beginning is worrying about Eren. And I guess you could say that's the reason why Mikasa won in the end, and I guess you could say, oh, that makes sense then, because she's worried and love Eren since the beginning. But it's just like, dude, that is still the lamest thing you could end up Attack on Titan. This epic anime about the war, about survival, about apocalypse, and then love is the answer. And Mikasa, the character who just loved Eren, is just the answer. The character that barely struggled, by the way, if I add, because she's only struggled in the past when her parents got killed, which is sure. But besides that, she's completely fine. She's a strong woman that barely has any conflict within herself until the end, where she is forced to kill Eren. But that's it for Mikasa's character, and that's why I feel like making Mikasa as the main key to everything is just a mistake, man. I feel like Armin should be the key to everything. Maybe he could do something about the stopping the war, right? Which is what he did anyway. But I don't know, man. I feel like Mikasa is the last person that I expect to stop Ymir, to stop founding Ymir, and then basically realize that you could love someone in a healthy way. Which is also disagreed, because I feel like Eren and Mikasa love is like obsessive love instead of like healthy love. At least that's how I feel. So it's kind of funny to me that it's like, oh yeah, this is true love, guys, and then it was obsessive love, At least in my opinion for Mikasa, Speaking of Historia, like I said before, she is barely a character in this anime, or in the final season. She's just there to be pregnant, and then that's it, And I was like, man, that sucks, because I want to see her role as a queen. I guess we could see that in a flashback in the final season, but it was a flashback, In the present day, she barely said anything until the ending, And I guess in the end, she has this role to basically lead the Paradise Island, but again, we as an audience, we never seen that. And it sucks, man, because she has a big role in season 3. She has a big story arc, where she becomes a queen, and then you just remove her from season 4 for the final season as a character. She's still there, but she's just there to look sad and pregnant, and that's it. And marrying a random guy, by the way. that was the most bizarre thing for Historia character. That imagine having your big character just marry a random guy you never met. That is not a good storytelling in my opinion, because like this guy would have a really shallow explanation that, oh yeah, he's just a childhood bully for Historia, and then now she's coming back in the present day, and now he's a changed man. So therefore, Historia and this random man is married now, and they have a child. And I'm just like, what? What the hell, Like, why? Why would that make sense, And the theory that we have is that maybe Eren is gonna be the father for Historia's child. And to me, that will make the most sense, And again, I'm not saying this as a Arahisu fandom, or like I'm shipping some of the characters. Like, no, I no longer care about shipping in Attack on Titan. But I feel like objectively speaking, if Eren Yeager was the father, it would at least make sense, because Eren and Historia are known to each other. They are working together before. They are having a conflict before in season 3. So it would make sense that these two would at least have some connection, But no, apparently Eren is not the dad. Apparently this random dude out of nowhere is married to Historia, one of the biggest characters in season 3. Like you can just develop a well-known characters, and then having this well-known character marry a random guy. I feel like you can do that. You need to at least explain like who she's going to end up with, because you are telling a story, like that is a good story. Like that is not a good storytelling if you just like having a well-known character just marry a random guy, and then you're supposed to care about that. Then I have no idea what to say about this random guy, because he's just a random guy. I have no idea who he was. So it's like, okay, why are you marrying Historia? Okay, cool. I mean, sure, man, sure, that happens apparently, And of course, I want to talk about the extra ending as well, that I feel like is a sequel bait. Obviously, I think we're gonna see Baron, the next generation, That's like the joke for Naruto and Boruto, obviously. But before that, we get to see Mikasa again, and where she's still mourning Eren. So I think at the end of the day, Eren does won, because Mikasa never moved on to begin with, because she still have the scarf. Even after she dies, she still are wearing that scarf, because that scarf is obviously the symbol of their love, So obviously they are wrapping the scarf when she dies. So it's like, yeah, she doesn't move on. You could say that. But at the same time, she is married to another guy, which I'm not exactly sure who he was, but I feel like from the hairstyle, it could be John. And let's just say if it was John, let's just say if it was John, then wow, I feel so bad for John. That yeah, I get Mikasa finally, but because Eren dies, and Mikasa clearly never moves on from Eren. So it's like, well, I I feel so bad for you, John. I'm so sorry. But either way, I hope Isayama never do romance because he's clearly have no idea how to write a romance. Clearly, And Eremika fans, you could think that that's great, which is cool. But for me, I think the way he writes romance is just terrible. But again, this is my opinion. Also, Reiner sniffing Historia letter is also really weird, because Reiner is the kind of guy or like the character that you could relate to because he is struggling so much. He has some internal conflict to the point that he wants to commit suicide at one point. And then the last thing we saw Reiner's character is his sniffing Historia letter, even though Historia is already married. Like, what the hell, man? Like, this is how you end Reiner's character? Okay, cool. He just end up as a joke then. I know that I'm probably nitpicking here, but I don't know. I feel it feels weird to see Reiner last scene is actually sniffing a letter. And of course, we see in the extra ending, we see Paradise get destroyed, which I think clearly said that Eren's plan never worked in the first place. That I feel like, I don't know, man. Here's the thing. Here's what I think it will be a better ending or I guess what I want to see is that Eren committing 100% of the rumbling because I want to see how Isayama is going to write that because first of all, it doesn't involve romance, so it should be good, right? It should be like a tragic way where it's like the character like Armin, Mikasa, John, Coney, Captain Levi is trying to fight, Eren and the rest of the Titan, and then obviously they keep, Tatakai, right? And then sadly, because Eren was so powerful, they basically die fighting, and then Eren commits 100% of the rumbling, and then yeah, that's like the ending of that's like the ending that I probably wanted to see. How Isayama is going to handle that, because I feel like that will make the most sense that if you are committing a rumbling, then you should at least complete the entire rumbling because obviously nobody is going to take this lightly. And based on these extra pages, it seems like even though it was took place far in the future, clearly like the world is not going to let that go. The world is still going to destroy Paradise Island. And to be fair, we never saw the reason why they destroy Paradise Island, but I think for sure they are going to bring the fact that these people are clearly destroying our world back in like 100 years ago or something like that, right? So clearly that's gonna be brought up at some point, at least in my opinion, even though again there is no confirmation about that. And that's why personally I want to see an ending where Eren actually commit 100% of the rumbling because I am curious to see what Isayama is going to do with that ending because I feel like it could be better because it doesn't involve romance. But I guess we're never gonna get that now because well, this is the official ending, So yeah, it sucks, But at the same time, if you enjoyed, then I'm glad you enjoyed, But it's just not for me. But I want to talk about Shingeki no Fly, which is like a volume 35, and there's gonna be an 18 extra pages in the future. And I feel like I'm curious to see what is this original pages was, because some people said this will be an alternate ending, and I hope it is, because again I want to see if Isayama actually make Eren does full rumbling because I feel like he could do that in one chapter. But I don't think he's going to do that. I think he's going to double down on the ending and maybe try to explain the extra pages and maybe explain that, oh, the war that happens in the future, not because of the Titan, but because not happen because of the rumbling, but because it's just a war that happens like right now, in our real war or something like that, Maybe that's what he's going to do to explain some of the extra pages, but I am hoping that there was an alternate ending, even though it was impossible to happen at this point, but I really wish it was an alternate ending because it will be a smart move if Isayama do that, it will be a smart business move as well because now obviously people have two different endings that you could choose whatever you like, maybe if this was an alternate ending, then you could choose this alternate ending and then you can choose this one, which one is canon, That's what I wish would happen, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I think that's almost like an impossible thing to happen this time. I think Isayama is going to double down on why he wants to do this ending in the first place. I think he's going to explain it even further with these extra pages, these 18 extra pages, So yeah, I guess at the end of the day, we'll see in April 2024 what's gonna be the volume 35 is, what's gonna be the content for these 18 pages, I hope it's an alternate ending, but it's probably not that. It's probably impossible for that to happen, But I hope it is, But either way, guys, that's my thoughts on the Attack on Titan ending, guys. I know this is like a long video, but Attack on Titan was so special to me, So I think I want to explain my reasoning for not liking the ending, and hopefully my reasoning is clear enough to some of you, And I know that some of you are going to disagree with my opinions, and that's totally fine. You are allowed to have your own opinions, and that's fine, So just be respectful, just be chill about it, because this is just my opinions, and you have a different opinion, that's fine. If you like the ending, that's fine. I'm glad you guys like it, but it's just not for me, So there's that. And yeah, I think if I have to give the rating for Attack on Titan for the entire series, I'm still gonna give this Attack on Titan 8.5 out of 10, because if we are reviewing the entire series, I still love the entire series, because I feel like there is a really great journey, and I really appreciate the journey with the characters. That is like the best part about Attack on Titan. I love season 1, I love season 3, and I think I love season 2 as well. The final season is the one that I just want to forget about everything that happens in the final season. But again, that's just me. Despite what I think about the ending, I still love Attack on Titan. Like, you can't deny that this anime is big. It has a big fandom. It's obviously changing some of the anime industry. So that's why I think at the end of the day, Attack on Titan to me is still a special anime, regardless what I think about the ending. So at the end of the day, I still like Attack on Titan. I still think this is a special series for me because it's the first true anime that I watch. It just make me an anime fan in general. So I'm still thankful for Attack on Titan. And at the end of the day, even though I criticize hajimeisayama's writing, for the romance part, I still want to say thank you, Isayama, for Attack on Titan, because I feel like it's still a special anime at the end of the day, regardless what you think about the final season and the ending. Even though, yes, I don't like it, I still think the entire series is still special for me. So, yeah, I guess that's it to wrap it up, So you guys can let me know in the comment section below what do you guys think about the ending of Attack on Titan, whether you like it or not. You guys can share your opinions in the comment section below, and if you guys want to basically disagree with me, then that's fine. But like I said before, please be respectful, about in the comments, because again, I'm not here to call you guys out. I'm not here to like creating a huge toxic argument or something like that. No, if you have a different opinion, that's fine. If you want to share those different opinions, go ahead. I will read them. I will try to understand them, and that's totally fine again. And hopefully there is no aggressive or toxic behavior in the comments, if people are actually watching this video anyway. So yeah, just be respectful and just be chill, guys, if you want to leave a comment section, So yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video, guys. And again, stay tuned for more in the future. I think I want to make another video about Attack on Titan, but it's not about the ending, because I want to talk about the positive aspect of Attack on Titan, because I don't want to just focusing a lot on the negative part of Attack on Titan because it's so easy to hate on things, especially the ending, But talking about something that you love, and I feel like I want to do that in the future video for Attack on Titan, why I love this series to begin with. So stay tuned for that videos in the future, guys. And again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys enjoyed, then make sure you guys rumbling that subscribe and like button, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next one then. Bye.